Hi, and welcome to our first Infusionsoft training. Today we're going to talk about 7 things you need to review on every call. And the first thing we're going to do is type in the name of our contact, and I always hit enter after that, and I have an overview of this client right here. So I'm going to go and click on the client's name and open up into their account our main contact screen. The first thing I want to verify is the person type. I want to make sure that I am putting notes and talking to someone who's a client. The only exception to this is if you were in the health department, this may say employee, which would mean they're on a group health plan, or it may say prospect. If you are helping an agent do some prospecting, you may want to put a note on the account for that. But 90% of the time, this would say person type of client. The next thing we want to update is the owner. If you're working with someone and you see that their agent is incorrect, you can go ahead and change that, as long as this is set for the agent who is primarily responsible for this account, and that's from whom the emails will come from. This should be accurate for most of you. The third thing we want to check is the phone numbers, and this is so imperative that we continue to verify phone numbers and check phone numbers. Phone 1 can either be home, other, or work. It doesn't matter what goes here as long as it's one of those 3. This is a home phone. We see the phone numbers here, and we see some notes over here, which is where we might put call first or ask for Betty or a extension. That all goes in the little field over here for comments. Do not put anything other than numbers and dashes in the phone number field. Now, when I look at this, I see phone 2 is listed as work, and that's perfect. And then phone down here where it says mobile number. What I see a lot is something that looks like this. And this would say phone 2 says mobile and mobile says work. And I would then go and reverse these 2 phone numbers because this information is not correct. We want to make sure that the mobile number, the accurate mobile number marked as mobile, is the only thing that's in this field. This is really important if an agent's on the road and they want to be able to contact someone quickly. We send text messages for meeting reminders, payment reminders, birthdays, and all sorts of other things. And the only field we pull from is here. If there is mobile in any other field, and this selection is set to mobile, Infusionsoft lets me know, and I need to go in and move those phone numbers around, or I need to send you a message and have you go in and correct this information. On our YouTube page, we have a whole video that talks right here about mobile phone and fax. The next thing we want to verify is email. We always want to make sure we have an email address. So if this is empty, we can go ahead and add an email address in, and you can see that as I'm typing that, this little box that says I have permission is blank. I need to make sure I check that, and then that I come down here and hit save. When that happens, you'll see that this turns blue, which means that this address is now able to be emailed to. If you see the words underneath that there is a bounce in the email, this will be red. It will say something like soft bounce or hard bounce. Please go ahead and ask the person to confirm their email address and let them know that sometimes our emails are bouncing back. Please don't say our marketing emails, just say our emails are bouncing back and ask them if we can verify their address. And also, when you are asking for address, please don't say, I need your email because we want to send you marketing. Just ask them to verify their address. If we've learned one thing from the last year, it's that we need to be able to communicate with people via mobile and also via email. So it really is important that we have an accurate address. The last thing we want to look on this screen is we want to scroll down and we want to review any outstanding tasks. This person has an outstanding task and it's assigned to Janet, and the notes on what need to be done are here. If we keep scrolling down, we'll see notes from previous calls. It is really important that you add a note every time you're on a call with a client, documenting what happened. This is really helpful if someone else gets a phone call with one of your clients in the future because they're filling in while you're out of the office, or you're at lunch, or you're on vacation. It's really important to document the conversation so that there's an idea of what is being worked on with that client, and we have an idea of what has to happen next. So on this screen, we've talked about person type, we've talked about owner, we've talked about phone numbers, we've talked about email, and then we've talked about notes and tasks. There's just 2 more things to work on an account, and on the additional info tab, we want to make sure we have a birth date and that it's the correct birth date. So please confirm somebody's birth date. They do go in wrong on occasion, so maybe their birth date is something else. You just go ahead and hit enter, and the birth date is updated. You can also hit save. And the last and probably most important thing that we want to update when we're in somebody's record is we want to review their line of business tags. These things that are blue, remember, are clickable. The default is going to be from most recent to the longest tag that's been applied. So we can see that recently this person has an umbrella, has some insurance, and has life insurance. We can also see that they submitted an email via signature, they were in a nurture campaign, they've been in a CSR life campaign recently, they've been to a seminar, we're sending them a birthday text. So we get an idea of what experience that client is having with us. Probably the thing I use most is the category sort, and all I'm doing is clicking on category, and it's sorting by the category name for the tags. So first up will be campaigns for clients. These have the word start, so you can see the date somebody was in one of these campaigns for clients, and maybe you want to pivot to a conversation about life insurance because you know that they've recently received information on that. The vital ones here are these lines of business tags. These are the ones we need to make sure are accurate. So if I'm talking to this person about investments and I see they don't have investments, I'm going to want to add that. If I'm talking to them about their flood insurance, then I'm going to make sure that I apply a tag by scrolling down to client line of business, click on select a tag, go down to flood, and hit apply this tag. And then I can see that that tag is there and is accurate. This is really vital that we're talking to people and we have the correct lines of business tags. Now, lines of business tags belong on the individual contact record. They do not belong on the company account. You can see that Janet Test is also having a business, and I'm going to right click to her business account, and you'll see there are no tags here. All that's here is her contact name and her address, and there might be some notes down here that transfer over from her other account. But there are no tags. We can't do anything with tags on a company account. We communicate with individual people, not with companies. So as Janet, as the contact for that business, needs to have the business tags as well as any personal lines tags that she has. Now, the other thing that you can do, and the other way that you can look at this information is, if you prefer, is again, I'm typing in her name and hitting enter, and I'm getting this quick search field. I can also edit things like email from here. I can edit person type. I can edit the owner. I can edit phone, so I only see phone 1, and fax 1, remember, is mobile. That's something that I cannot change. I can review notes right here from the screen, and I can add notes. I can even from this screen very quickly review emails. So if I know someone has just opened an email about annuities, I might be able to pivot and say, do you know we do investments? And maybe I could set up a time for you to speak with Jack or Dave about opening some investments with us. I can also very quickly go to tags. And again, these blue things are here so I can sort by date, or I could sort by lines of business, and I can see very quickly and easily the lines of business the client has. I can even click apply tag, and if I know the tag that I want, which maybe is an umbrella policy, I can go ahead and click that, and I can add that right onto the client account here. We'll see you next week for video number 2.